children, take them away.
Okay guys, hope you're well. Just turned 7 o'clock on the Friday morning. I just thought I'd give you a very quick video of the sort of thing I do on a morning. Now, my morning routine is pretty much the same. I get up 6:30, pull myself together, grab a coffee, because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee, and just gather my thoughts. And that's what I'm doing, because I don't really like to trade till about 9 o'clock, because I don't trade the opens. And so at 7 o'clock I try not to trade, certainly for 7 to 7:15, because there's normally a bit of a spike at that point. I certainly don't like trading 8 o'clock, so I avoid that like the plague. So what does that leave me? It leaves me a bit of time to prepare myself. And that's what I do in the morning. I just get ready to rock and roll. So my routine is the same. First thing I do is I read the news. See if there's anything major happening in the world overnight that might affect the markets. You know, Ukraine, that sort of thing. They are rare, but it's just part and parcel of what we do. So I like to read the news. Then from there, I sit down and I start looking at the charts. Okay. So what does that entail? Well, the first thing is I spend about half an hour, 40 minutes making up a strength sheet from my basket of products. Now, if I flick this over, I've already done it this morning. I make one of these. Now, it's done with various ways that I do it. If I come up, you'll see that I have a watch list that's set up, but I also break up, or at least I will do when it wakes up, individually currencies into individual baskets. So I've got all my dollars together, all my euros together, all my pounds together, and so forth. And that helps me quickly rattle through the strength sheet, okay? Because what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the motion of the dominant currency. So I'll look at the pound and I'll see what it's doing against everything else, counting the waves, look at a couple of indicators, and it helps me make a strength sheet, okay? Which is this. Now, I do this once a day, just once, all right? And all it's for is it filters the market for me to create a watch list. That's it. That's its job. So once I've made this, and it does have like a whopping engine on the back of it, with God knows how many numbers within it, it calculates what's happening in the market. Okay. Now, today it's telling me the US is the strongest and the New Zealand is the weakest. Now, I also want to know what's happened over the last 24 hours with the various currencies. Are they gaining pace? Are they losing pace? Because that helps me as well. And that's what this is. So I compare it against what I did the last time I did a data sample. And it calculates it all out. And it gives me a basket. And that's what this is up here. It's a basket of products that I think are potentially going to move on the day in the Forex market, because that's what strength is. Because the strength of the Forex market is one currency overcoming another currency. Now, if you can't work these out yourself, there are websites out there that will help you. Personally, I think FinViz is about as good as it gets, because it gives you a very good snapshot in a bar form and a heat map. So it's really good. So if you can't do it yourself, FinViz is pretty good. Now, once I've worked this out, I put it into a basket, which is here. Okay. And these are the only products I'll look at on the day. Now, on the top right hand corner, there's another box. And these are the majors of the Forex market. And again, it just highlights which ones are strong, weak, and have a potential to move on the day. All right. So I look at all of this data and I put it into a watch list. And then my watch list is this. Now, the top three, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, DAX, cable, gold. I always trade those, regardless. You know why? They move every day. And then I have two others that I always have a look at first thing on the morning, which is Euro, Dollar, and FTSE, because they move every day. And then what I'll do with this basket is I'll systematically work my way through them and thin them out to one trade or one asset rather. And that asset is what I'll stick with for the day. And then that's why I work the biases out here. Now, you may have seen me do biases before. And what a bias is, the bias is the direction that I'm going to choose. Now, that again comes through various ways of looking at the market. You can look at Bollinger Bands, you can look at MACDs, you can look at moving averages, you can look at RSIs, whatever you choose. But as long as it works for you, that's fine. Me, I like a MACD and I like a Bollinger Band and I like an RSI. I like multiple confirmation. So I'll look at that to get a direction. And once I've found the dominant direction, I'll stick with it. That's it for the day. It's locked in. But then I'll grade the trade based on what I've seen. Now it might be an A trade, which I think all of the boxes are ticked, down to a D trade where there's only really one box ticked. And I only look at A and B pairs. That's kind of why I have a little checklist down here. Okay, trade A and B products only. So if this comes up as an A or a B, well, there we go. Well, I'll tell you what, give me a second. I'll work out the current biases and I'll show you what this looks like.
Well, we're waiting.
Okay, guys. So now that I've done my biases and I've done this and flicked it up for the squad, I'll just quickly show you that as well. Because we all see our little mornings. Down here is the bias, and then there you are, dropped it in. So they get to see that as well. Now from there, what I'm looking at is to see if any of these are ready. Now, it's currently 7:20 in the morning, and there's only one, which is gold, which is a B trade. This one here. So that would be the single asset that I would look at. Now, it's telling me to buy it, saying it's a B. Now, B is pretty good, but it's also saying wait. Now, what that's telling me to do is exactly what it says it is. Wait. So what I'll do is I'll be watching a 15-minute candle to close, and then I'll reevaluate that one asset, because that's the only asset I'm going to look at for this hour, and see if it's ready. Because I like one trigger, and then I like an entry trigger as well, like a setup trigger and an entry trigger. And I systematically do that. Now, if it doesn't trigger before it hits the top of the hour, that's it. I repeat the entire process. Now, the next top of the hour is 8 o'clock. I don't trade between 8 and 9 if I can help it. You know, I have that down here as well. Avoid 8 a.m. and 8:30. Okay. Why is that? It's because the markets are too buoyant. So I just kind of let the 8-hour close, and then that'll be the end of it. And I'll repeat this process over and over till I find one market, just one. And then when I'm paid, as you see me each day, I stop. You know. Now this sheet here, there's bits and pieces of information that I put on. One is my own rules, and the other is little checklists for the guys, you know, and that's what this video is for. It's for the Scruffy Squad. Now, the first thing that I'm doing is I'm just making a basket, but then I look at the anchor to look at the analyzing chart, and then I wait. All right. And as you can see, I have little notes all over this, you know, filter into 3 products. That's your maximum. Right? So if you are going to trade multiple through the day, it only wants to be 3. All right. Because you can't focus on that much, and only focus on one of them at a time. That's why I have my top 3 here. This is where most of my energy is focused. Okay. And if they don't give me anything, then what's underneath may possibly help me. Okay. That's kind of the way I look at it. And what I'm doing is I'm systematically knocking things off all the time. You know, what does that mean? Well, if I see something and it's just absolutely useless, I'll just delete it altogether. And then this becomes smaller and smaller throughout the day. You're funneling everything down. Okay. It's not a signal service, you know, at all. It's just a filter. And then down this side, as you can see, I'm looking to find the strongest and the weakest because they will move. I then want to find a bias of direction here. I want to know what the anchor is. Well, that'll tell me on this side. Use a couple of indicators to help you, you know, use an RSI, Bollinger Band, that sort of thing. My day trades are market neutral. That means I take every one on the top of each hour because the markets oscillate. So I might look at it one direction, and once I've entered into it, that's it. So if I've entered long, it will be long for the rest of the day. Okay. So I don't have a pre-open bias on it. When you're looking at bias, what you got to remember is it's looking across the whole day, which is why you stick in a single direction. Best times to trade between 7 and 9 p.m. UK time, because that's when the spreads are the tightest. Ideally before 5 o'clock, because I like to be finished. ATR. Well, the ATR is something I look at every day. It can give me the breadth of market, which can give me my trading arena, help me with my stops. Time, well, the time is just the last time this was checked, so I can keep a running total of where I'm at. I'm only going to trade A and B trades. And when I'm looking at products, if the spread is 2.5 and above, I have a tendency just to get rid of it. And then there is my trading time. So that's my sheet broken down, how I use it, why I use it. And that's my routine every morning. I do this every morning. And then now between sort of now and 9 o'clock, my inbox is full to the hilt. Between direct messages from the various social medias, Telegram, Discord, emails, etc. I've got over 40 messages to answer now between now and 9 o'clock. I try and get that done, and I answer every single one of them personally. Now, some of them are just a quick hello, thank you for reaching out. Others are from an epilogue, that's War and Peace, and I've got to think about it and answer it properly because I believe I should. And then at 9 o'clock, I'm normally ready to go to market, find my 1-2 trades that will pay me my £200, and then I'm done. And that's it. And I don't need to trade today. I've hit my wages. I will show you something just while we're on, or at least I will when it wakes up. Doing another video today actually on this. There's my wages. I get 100% payout on this. Well, pretty much. So what have I got due? Where are we at? Wake up. There we are. I've got 399. Well, just shy of £4 grand due to be paid out. I can live with that. So I might work a little bit today because, well, it's a little bit too close. You know, let's pay the fees off and get that over $4,000, eh? But that'll do me. That'll do. And then I'll just reset this for next month, build it back up, take the money out. That's simple, guys. So I'm quite happy with that. And challenges that I'm doing are going quite well. My standard wages are going quite well. I've had a stonking month this month. In fact, I've made as much this month. I don't need to work next month if I don't want to. And that's what trading is to me. It's all about freedom and sort of just a means to an end. It's kind of why I'm going on another sort of jolly holiday this weekend, having a few days away. Why not? You know, and that's trading in a nutshell. So that's what I do. That's where I'm up to. If you do like the journey, subscribe. And if you're stuck, I genuinely answer every single email. You know, I can't necessarily give you the magic pill because I do get that all the time as well. Just tell me what you do and I'll be all right. Trading isn't about that, guys. Trading is about reading, patience, understanding frameworks. If you're looking for X marks the spot, and bearer of bad news doesn't exist. So, and hopefully seeing what I do in the morning might open your eyes to that. There's a lot of homework behind it all. So as always, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.